Ready? You have the cameras rolling?
Nobody knows this stuff better than me.
I want to build the wall. And then I see the disinfectant injection inside.
Why do you keep using this? A lot of
it
people
comes
say
from
it's
China.
racist.
People say, oh, you don't like China. No, I love them. I like China. Russia, please, if you can, get us Hillary Clinton's emails. Please, Russia, please. I don't know what I said. I don't remember.
Do his job. So does anybody have any questions?
Come on.
Are you following the U.S. presidential campaigns?
I am. I mean, I'm American, so I'm going to be voting in November. So I am following it right now. I think, it's going to be a very interesting 5 months leading up to the election. If you asked me maybe a month ago, I would have said that I'm very convinced that Donald Trump is going to win the election again. Right now, that gap is closing a lot because, recently with these protests, American people, I think they're really wanting to see a change. My only concern is that I don't have a lot of faith in Biden. I don't believe he's a very strong candidate. I think he's just a little bit too senior for that position. He's aging. He doesn't always come off, very presentable when he speaks.
And why should the voters believe that you can win the national election?
I was a Democratic caucus. You ever been to a caucus? No, you haven't. You're a lying dog-faced pony soldier. No man has a right to raise a hand to a woman in anger. And so we have to just change the culture, period, and keep punching at it and punching at it and punching at it.
I'm Jill Biden's husband, and I work for Cedric Richmond. 3-0, 3-3-0, 3-0, 3-3-0, or 303, 3-3-0, or 3-0, wait.
That saves billions of gallons of gasoline. I mean, billions of, $1.4 billion. It's hard to even say it.
Everybody wants they in fact, anyway, my time's up. I'm sorry.
Thank you, Vice President.
I can't believe he's 78 years old. You start to worry a little bit about, his health over the next 4 years. And is he going to make it? So, I think there's still a very good chance that Donald Trump's going to win the election.
Have you made your decision already, or are you still in the process of observing?
I'm still in the process. I'm still in the process. I haven't made any decision yet. I will say, though, that I did not vote in the 2016 election because I didn't like either candidate. I didn't really feel like voting because I just didn't want to be associated with either candidate, to be honest. A lot of people in America say, you have to vote. It's your job to vote. For me, I decided to not vote. So we'll see. I think I will make a vote this time.
American politicians, they tend to use radical strategies against China to get votes. What do you think of it?
Yeah, I think the best example of that is in 2016, when Donald Trump first started his slogan of Make America Great Again. And that's really what a lot of people got behind him because they said, yes, our country, has not been improving. Let's make it better again. However, immediately he started, attacking China, saying, look, China's stealing our jobs. We're losing to China.
China, without a question, they're wiping us around the world economically.
We have to hold China accountable. They steal our products, including our intellectual property. They dump substandard products into our economy.
The Chinese government has not been open. Their press, the freedom of press does not exist there. Their human rights record is abominable.
China would like to see Sleepy Joe Biden. They would take this country for a ride like you've never seen before.
I would be on the phone with China making it clear. We are going to need to be in your country. You have to be open. They must play by the rules. Period, period, period.
Do you really think the democratic system is so fragile that it could be threatened by this single high-tech company of Huawei?
Let me just say that
it's very difficult for the United States to see a country like China and to see what they've been able to accomplish in the last 30 years. What China's been able to accomplish in the last 30 years, bringing over 700 million people out of poverty into the middle class. It's unprecedented in human history. There's no other country in the last 30 years that even comes close to what China has been able to accomplish. And it's very difficult for the American government to really see a one-party state able to do that. We're so trained in America that communism equals evil. And we do know that, the China's government is different. It's socialism with Chinese characteristics. There's much capitalism in China. There's a lot of entrepreneurship. There's a lot of freedom in China. Chinese people are the number one tourists in the world. Chinese people travel all over the world. We have this kind of stereotype in America that China is like North Korea. And this is what people think of. Still, people in America today think of China as, everyone's wearing Chairman Mao suits. everyone's riding bicycles. It's a poor country. That's a stereotype that even now still exists in some people's mind. There's no Chinese factory owner that is telling American companies, you need to come here to manufacture your goods. It's always American companies that go to China to manufacture. And we'll take a company like Apple, for example, the most valuable company in the world, valued over $1 trillion US. You know, Apple is successful. They have been successful because they manufacture their products in China, you know, and then they import them back into the United States, and they have a great margin on that. And they sell an iPhone for an incredible, you know, markup. You know, the American dream would not be possible without China. You know, if America manufactured everything in the United States, it wouldn't be profitable. They couldn't do that. So I really think that, you know, America is in this great position because of its relationship with China. I think that it's a two-way street. I think China's benefited a lot from the American relationship too, but we see so many companies, so many of the biggest companies in the world, you know, they depend on China for a tremendous amount of revenue. I mean, I really think that, you know, we need to look at building a relationship with China. And my thing that I always say is that the world works a lot better when you have the two superpowers, China and the United States, you know, working together.
So what do you think of the future of Hong Kong? And do you have any suggestions for Hong Kongers, for who are living in Hong Kong?
That there's still a lot of hope for Hong Kong. I think the biggest thing is, you know, with the youth in Hong Kong, I would say, is I would encourage them to spend a lot more time with the older generation in Hong Kong. From my experience, when I talk to older people in Hong Kong, you know, they remember the time when the British were there. You know, they didn't have a lot of freedoms when the British ruled. You know, they were almost treated as second-class citizens. And it was after the Chinese took over back in 1997, you know, that they've started to been able to, you know, have at least a say in what the government is doing. In 2019, Hong Kong achieved the ranking of number 3 on the Human Freedom Index. You know, this was achieved after 23 years of, you know, Beijing, the central government, managing Hong Kong. These young protesters, we see a lot of them, 12, 13, 14, you know, they're in the streets. I don't think really a lot of them understand, you know, what they're doing. You know, it's you know, when you see a lot of people out on the streets, you kind of want to be a part of that. You know, you don't even know what you're doing, but let's jump in. We're going to make a difference. What are we fighting for? I don't even know, but let's just go do it. You know, so I think the big thing is you need to educate yourself. And I mean, for me personally, the people that I've seen in Hong Kong that are successful businessmen, that are doing well for themselves, that are making deals and having a great career, you know, they are building a relationship with mainland China, because Hong Kong citizens have a unique relationship, right? I mean, Hong Kong citizens have the home return permit. They can go visa-free to mainland China. You can open a business in mainland China. You can do trade with mainland China much easier than anybody else in the world. So use that to your advantage. You know, why don't I not get closer, you know, with the number 2 power in the world that's continually rising, and by 2025 will be, you know, the number 1 economic force in the world. It's your advantage because you're Chinese, you know. So that's my hope, at least. You know, I've seen what China and what Hong Kong has been able to do. I just hope that, you know, I would just say again, you know, the future of Hong Kong's success depends on a healthy relationship with China.
Thank you, Cyrus. Thank you for your time.
My pleasure. Thank you, Cece. Pleasure to chat with you.